Viewing or listening to this podcast confirms acceptance of the disclaimer visible on your screen or found at authorscott.com/podcast. Welcome to the Regaining Health and Humanity podcast. I'm Dr. Scott Johnson, your guide on this journey to natural well-being. Here we explore evidence-based insights, revolutionary breakthroughs, and powerful health strategies that not only inform, but inspire change. Together, we'll uncover the mysteries of human existence and unlock the secrets to thriving. This podcast is more than just knowledge. It's your catalyst for unleashing extraordinary potential. Get ready. Your journey to boundless health and happiness starts now. Welcome, friends. I'm your host, Dr. Scott Johnson, and in this episode of Regaining Health and Humanity, we're going to explore the essential oils every home should have. To do so, I'm joined by Nurse Amanda. Amanda is a nurse who has always been passionate about helping others. After experiencing some health challenges of her own and falling victim to our broken medical system, she decided to educate herself on holistic and alternative healing methods. When she began to apply what she learned to her life, her symptoms began to improve, and she knew she was called to share what she had learned with the world. A little over a year ago, she hung up her stethoscope and left her nursing job to pursue teaching holistic health full-time online after being in her career over 15 years. She is certain it's the best decision she's ever made and is honored to have the opportunity to discuss her favorite life-changing natural medicine, essential oils. Welcome, Amanda.
Hi, thank you so much for letting me be here. I'm so excited.
Yeah, some of my listeners may be wondering why I'm not just teaching this podcast myself, but I like to learn from others. And I feel like as I get to interact with people who are just using essential oils, but also healthcare professionals, I get to learn new things too. And so I'm always interested in getting a different perspective, and I'm interested in hearing your experience. I want to start you off with a hard question. I consider it a hard question because I get asked it all the time. And so the question is, what are your top 5 oils you recommend that every home should have? And the reason why I say that's a hard question is because I have a hard time limiting it to just 5.
Yeah, so that actually is truly a very difficult question just because there's so many incredible oils that I feel can be really beneficial to have in your home and use on a daily basis. I mean, we use dozens a day in my home, so super tough. But I would say if I had to pick 5 of the most common, I think really versatile oils would be frankincense, lavender, peppermint, tea tree, and probably lemon. I just feel like those are 5 that I use every single day, and that can be used for like so many different things.
I think one of the key words you said is versatility. Essential oils are not just good for one thing. There's so many different uses for them. And we share some of our top 5, frankincense and lavender, and I typically have peppermint in there too, but I throw in copaiba, and then I generally use orange instead of lemon. So similar citrus oil, but very similar top 5s. What are some easy everyday ways to use essential oils for things like stress relief and emotional balance? I think these are really important factors. We often spend a lot of time talking about our physical health, but we maybe don't give the same kind of attention to our mental and emotional health. And we can't ignore one and have optimum health. They're all interconnected, and we need to put focus and emphasis on each one. And what do you usually tell people about some of the best oils to use for stress and emotional balance?
Yeah, so I love what you said. You can't have physical health without your mental health and vice versa. They're so intertwined. And I love this question because mental health is like my most passionate topic because of my own struggles that I've had in my life. And actually my mental health is what brought me to my holistic journey.
Okay.
And so it is something that I love to talk about. I help a lot of people with their mental health. And while I did a lot of things naturally and holistically to heal, essential oils were a huge piece of my healing. They were a game changer for me. They took me from like surviving to thriving, is what I tell people. And they've just made the biggest difference in my life. I still use them every single day, multiple times a day for my mental health, for emotional balance, for stress and things like that. So The amazing thing about it is they're really simple to use for emotional balance and for stress relief and to help with cortisol levels. You simply can use them topically when they're properly diluted,
Hmm.
and you can use them aromatically. The cool thing about aromatic use of essential oils, it's probably the most powerful way because our sense of smell, like our olfactory senses, are directly connected to our limbic system in our frontal lobe, which is where our emotion regulation resides. So it can be the aroma, the plant constituents of these essential oils when they are inhaled. They can immediately impact our brain and calm our nervous system. And they work on our neurotransmitters like our GABA and our serotonin and our
Hmm.
dopamine. And they can just shift your mood so quickly. So it's really, really impactful way essential oils are to improve and help support your mental health.
I like what you said about the immediate impact that essential oils can have because essential oils, when you inhale them, that is the fastest way to get them into the brain. And essential oils are of the molecular weight and size that they can cross what's called our blood brain barrier. And that allows it to get into the brain tissue and to have effects. And downstream, that affects the endocrine system as well, which is obviously our hormone system. And so when you have this neuroendocrine effect going on, you can dramatically impact your mood state and the stress that you're feeling. I know you talked about your top 5 essential oils, but when you're talking about essential oils specifically for stress relief and emotional balance and mood, what are the ones that are single essential oils that really come to mind for you that you want to use on a regular basis?
There's a lot, but some of the most well-known and well-studied oils for emotional support, lavender is
Hmm.
probably the number one. Very high in a plant constituent called linalool, which is known for all things calm and soothing. Copaiba, very, very calming to the nervous system. It actually works directly with our endocannabinoid system. So really, really good for calm. Citrus oils. All citrus oils are good for uplifting mood, which are great, like lemon or wild orange. I love magnolia. Magnolia is really, really
Hmm.
good. I think it's actually higher in the plant constituent linalool than lavender even is.
You're right.
So those would be some of my top. Roman chamomile is another really good one. Those are all kind of categorized in calming, emotional balance, mood regulation. There's a lot, but those are just a few of some of the top ones.
Yeah, those are all great. You're right. Lavender is one of the most well researched essential oils. There's dozens of studies that show when we ingest that oil or we inhale it or even apply topically that it can definitely have a mood balancing effect. And I like that you mentioned magnolia because I think that's one that is maybe not as common because people maybe don't have access to it. But magnolia is one of those unique essential oils that you can actually get the oil from the flower and the leaf, and the constituents that it produces or the chemical composition and even the aroma is very similar, whether you get it from leaf or the flower. And it's such a pleasant aroma. It's one that I commonly will introduce people to that are struggling with some sort of emotional need because it's so pleasant that they are willing to use it, to wear it. It's almost like a pure fume, not perfume, but pure fume
Yes, I was going to
because,
say I know a lot of women that use it as their perfume because it's
yeah.
so beautiful. It really is.
So I've given that to neighbors and friends that I make a roller bottle with some magnolia in it. And I'll often put in other things like the ones you've mentioned. Roman chamomile pairs well with that. Lavender does. I've even put copaiba in there with it. But magnolia just has such a pleasant scent that they tend to feel like they just are more calm when they're using it.
Yeah,
I
that's a
want to
great
shift
one.
a little bit now from mental and emotional health, but to our immune system. Our immune system works every day to keep us protected from the things that we're being exposed to. And so it's obviously a key system in the body that we want to give attention to if we want to stay in a healthy state. We're getting into the time of year where the pollen, at least us here in the Northern Hemisphere, the pollen is going to start really hitting us harder. Some people are going to be struggling because of that seasonal transition. How can essential oils support immune health to keep people healthy, but then also secondarily when it's during this time of seasonal transitions and the pollen is high?
So essential oils are actually incredible and amazing for immune support. One of their jobs in the plants is to be like the protector and the defender, right? So most essential oils carry some kind of way, shape, or form of immune supporting properties, immune supporting plant constituents. So they're really, really good at just supporting our natural immune response. Some essential oils have even been shown to like boost our natural killer cells, which is really, really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So there's so many oils that can be used for immune support. Some of the top ones on my list are like frankincense, oregano is huge, tea tree, clove, eucalyptus. They're all really good. The plant constituents that are inside of the essential oils are what contain the benefits. So for example, things like linalool, like we mentioned, or alpha pinene or eugenol. There's so many inside them that provide them with these immune supportive capabilities, but they're really easy to use. Again, topically and aromatically. So they can be used topically when they're properly diluted, up and down your spine, on the bottoms of your feet for daily immune support. And in my family, when we're in the fall and winter months, we actually use them every day to support our immune systems topically. And we diffuse them every single night at bedtime anyways, but throughout the day as well. You reap the benefits either way. And so to help with seasonal transition, that can be really great for your immune system as well. And then there's also oils that just have really great properties to help with seasonal symptoms, like lemon, lavender, and peppermint are like a powerhouse trio that people can really lean into to support like the attack of the pollen and all the things that come with the influx of spring. So they're incredibly supportive with the seasonal transition, and just in general, really powerful wellness tool to have to support our immune systems. It's really awesome.
I appreciate that you've mentioned dilution a couple of times, because that's something that I think a lot of people think, well, if I dilute it, then it's not going to be as effective. And that's the exact opposite of the truth.
Right.
Dilution actually keeps contact with the skin for longer. And so you can absorb more by doing that. And so people think it's just a safety thing, but it's actually an efficacy thing too. It helps improve the efficacy of the oils that you're putting on topically.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Associated with your immune system is your respiratory system. Your respiratory system often needs support as you're going through something that your immune system is dealing with. Are there oils you really rely on specifically for respiratory support, and how would you recommend that they be used?
We use oils for respiratory support anytime it is needed. And I've helped a lot of people with them as well. There are so many. Again, a lot of essential oils have overlapping plant constituents. And so that's why when you hear us talk about them, there's so many that can be used in so many different categories and so many different ways. Some of the top oils that I love and use and recommend for respiratory support: peppermint is so, so good for opening the airways. Rosemary, cardamom, thyme, eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is really, really good. Those are just some of the top ones. And again, they can be used aromatically. They can be used topically when diluted. But aromatically, you've got a few different options to support your respiratory system. You can use them by means of a diffuser. You can put some oils in your hand and kind of cup them over your face and inhale them that way, and that will support your respiratory system. You can do like a steam shower, like if you turn the shower on with hot water and let it run and shut the bathroom door and place some drops of oil in the shower, that is going to bring up the aroma, the plant constituents, and you can breathe them in that way. There's like sinus steamer mugs that you can do, kind of same concept as the steam shower. So yeah, there's so many different ways that you can use them for respiratory support as well.
Yeah, those are all kind of the heavy hitters when you come to respiratory support.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when you look at the mechanisms by which a lot of these oils work. They do dilate the bronchioles, or the airways. So they're going to open your airways so that you can have obviously greater capacity or easier time breathing. But there are also some that help us to clear mucus from the respiratory system. And so there's just a lot of benefits to using an essential oil when you want to have that respiratory support. Now, anybody who's had a toddler has probably dealt with a bump or a bruise, probably more than a few of those. And if you have children, there's things that you're going to have minor burns and minor cuts that you want to be able to handle at home. And how can essential oils be integrated into a natural first aid kit for things like minor cuts, minor burns, bruises, or even like a bug?
Yeah, so there again, I feel like I'm a broken record, but there are so many oils that can be utilized for first aid. I actually carry around a case. It's a first aid carrying case for essential oil, and I do not leave my home without it. And I found it so helpful in so many situations with not only my own child, but I have helped strangers like out in
Hmm.
public, which has been so amazing and so incredible. There's a lot, again, that we can use, but a few of them that I always have in my first aid kit that I will never leave my home without. First and foremost, lavender. We call it in our
Hmm.
home the Swiss Army knife because of essential oils, because it has so many uses. It's incredible for like cuts and scrapes or ouchies. It's really, really good for anything skin. So, like if your child or someone gets into a plant and gets a rash or a bug bite, incredibly therapeutic for burns, whether it be like a hot tool burn or a sunburn. It's a really good for like allergies. It's a natural antihistamine. So if you've got something going on and you're outside, it's great to pull out the lavender. Good for ear pain, and also, of course, good for mood and sleep. So like a really good versatile one to just always have in your first aid kit. Another one that I always carry around with me is peppermint. Again, that's like another Swiss Army knife for me. I just feel like peppermint has so many uses, but it's really, really good for like a headache or a pain or injury, powerful respiratory support, powerful digestive system support. So if someone has like nausea or motion sickness or whatever it might be, it's really, really good for cooling the body temperature. So if someone gets overheated, another thing that we just mentioned, can help open up the airways. So super powerful to have that one. I always have tea tree in my first aid kit because it's really good for like disinfecting. If someone falls and gets a cut or scrape, I immediately put it over the wound because I have them in rollers, so they're already pre-diluted.
Hmm.
But it's really, really good to use for like cuts, scrapes, ouchies. Actually really good for like ear pain, or like if someone has swimmer's ear or something of that, an earache, it's good for that. It's very immunosupportive as well. And it's also soothing to the skin for like rashes or any type of skin irritation. It can actually help when combined with lavender for like an itchy bug bite or something like that. So really good for that. And I would say the last one that I always keep, I kind of swap some of them out in my first aid kit depending on the season, but one that I always have is helichrysum. Helichrysum is an incredible oil if you've ever seen it work. It's like a miracle worker for bleeding, for nosebleeds or bleeding of an injury or bruising. Really, really powerful to have on hand. And they're so simple to use, and it's so empowering because you've got like a natural wellness kit ready to go for anything and everything you might need it for when you're out and about or when you're in your home.
It's interesting you mentioned helichrysum. I kind of call that liquid stitches because of
Yeah,
the
I've heard that.
way that it works. But I too like to travel with an essential oil kit, and I have them diluted like that in roller bottles. Some of them I know I'm going to ingest, but so I don't have them diluted that way. But many of them come in roller bottles. I travel with about, I think, 8 to 10 roller bottles whenever I travel, of different things that I know I have experienced on a trip before. So it's great to always be prepared and have those. And like you, I've helped strangers and other people with it because I've been prepared. So
Yeah,
what
it's awesome.
what are your favorite essential oils for creating a clean and toxin-free home environment?
So I feel like this is another hard question because again, there's so many that can help you create a toxin-free and clean home environment. I think lemon and tea tree are probably my two most used, but you can use them in so many different ways. Like you can use them in a diffuser for air purification. You can use them for cleaning and like a DIY multi-purpose spray. And when you're diffusing, not only does it purify the air, but you reap the therapeutic benefits, right? So you're getting either the mood support or the immune support, whatever it might be with that particular oil. So they enable you to also have a really nice smelling home without the toxins, and then you're getting all of the benefits. But they're wonderful for green cleaning. They enable you to kind of reduce the amount of toxic products that you have in your home because you can truly DIY just about any product. So from a multi-purpose spray to a deodorant to, bath bombs or laundry detergent, whatever it might be. So it's really cost effective and it really saves you money and toxins to like DIY your own products so they can eliminate toxins that way. And then also, if you've got like pure pharmaceutical grade oils, you can use them as medicine cabinet swaps as well, which is really helpful because then you're reducing the toxins from potential side effects, from like over the counter medications or whatever it might be that you would normally grab for. Oils are great for medicine cabinet swaps. So really, they kind of reduce your overall toxic burden in your home on so many different levels and so many different ways. So yeah, there's a lot of oils. Frankincense is another really good one to help, with the toxin-free home. But there's so many ways that it can empower you to just eliminate the toxins in your home.
You mentioned DIY blends or recipes. Can you share maybe your favorite or one or two of your favorite DIY blends or recipes that you can make at home?
Yeah. So there's so many. I mean, in all honesty, the possibilities are endless. And the funny thing is, I'm not like a DIY person. Like that's not me. That's not my personality. So it's interesting that I enjoy doing it, but because they're so simple. Like you can make a DIY multi-purpose spray with like a cleaner concentrate and the essential oil of your choice. You can add them to unscented Epsom salts and create, a toxin-free stress relief bath. It's literally 2 ingredients, right? You can use Castile soap and essential oils and make a foaming DIY hand soap. There's so many different things that you can do. You can make natural deodorant with like a couple ingredients like beeswax, shea butter, coconut oil, and essential oils. And they are so uncomplicated and so easy. And then you've got like roller recipes, right? For things like, there's endless roller recipes, but like an earache roller, you can throw together tea tree, lavender, and basil in a roller, and you've got the easiest earache remedy and the most powerful and effective earache remedy, which is amazing. Or like we spoke about, seasonal transition, you can throw lemon, lavender, and peppermint easily into a roller bottle, and now you've just made yourself seasonal support roller, which is a DIY, but it takes 2 seconds to do. And there's really truly an oil for every purpose. And so they empower you in so many ways. The recipes are endless. It's hard for me to even give you just a few, but yeah, it's endless possibilities to throw together quick and easy and effective DIY recipes, whether it be a product or an oil combination for like a symptom relief.
Well, thanks for sharing those. And for those of you who don't feel like you're great at DIY and you need some extra help, I would recommend you get my book, Synergy. It's an essential oil thing. The back half of that book is full of DIY recipes. So they're personal care and household things that you can make with essential oils at home. And some of those recipes are ones that my family loves here. So sleep's a major challenge for a lot of people. And the alternatives within the drug environment are not really something that a lot of people want to go down the path of because of the significant side effects that are associated with them. There are great essential oils to help with sleep. And so what are the best essential oils in your opinion for better sleep? And how would you use them maybe at bedtime?
My family actually leans into the power of essential oils for sleep on a nightly basis. They really changed the game for us, especially for our kiddo or anyone who struggles to fall asleep, really. But the cool thing is they allow you to fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, get better quality REM sleep. And the biggest bonus is that you don't wake up like over the counter sleep aids can make you feel. You wake up refreshed because they support your body on a cellular level, rather than suppress things like medication. So again, there's a lot of essential oils in the category of sleep. A lot of them overlap with the stress and emotional balance ones because they all contain like the soothing properties, right? Some of the top ones are the number one would be lavender, right? It's the most well-known, well-studied essential oil for sleep support. Works miracles, Roman chamomile, cedarwood, sandalwood, vetiver. Vetiver is really good for some people. So everyone kind of has their own preference of what they like and what works best for them because much like medications, right? Like someone might take a Tylenol and it gives them the best relief, and someone else might take it and it does nothing. So essential oils can be the same, right? So you kind of have to find what works for you. And once you find it, it's literally life-changing and it's very simple. Again, we've talked a lot here on topical use and aromatic use, and it's the same thing for sleep. You can pop a diffuser on your nightstand and diffuse them throughout the night. We actually diffuse them all night long because they've done studies that it boosts your brain cognition as well. So you're getting sleep support and cognition support, which is amazing. You can also take like an empty little spray bottle and make like a spritzer and spray down your pillows and sheets before bed to have that calming aroma. So you're breathing and inhaling the plant constituents that way. And then, of course, you can use them topically as well, right? So you can roll them on places, you can put them in a roller diluted and put them on places like your feet, your spine, your chest, where you're going to smell them and be inhaling those plant constituents. And it's just wonderful. They truly are miracle workers for sleep. And we don't have our physical or mental health if we are not sleeping. So sleep is so important for every body system, and to be able to support it so naturally and so wonderfully is really incredible.
I absolutely agree that sleep is so important, and there are things that are going on while you sleep that we miss out on significant biological effects if we are not sleeping adequately. And essential oils can definitely contribute to that sleep quality and quantity. It's not like they're going to knock you out and make you drowsy like certain medications, but they are just going to support your body's natural ability to create melatonin, and they're going to interact with the calming receptors like your GABA receptors and help to contribute a more conducive environment to be able to sleep and rest. Maybe for some of us, it turns off our minds so that we're not anxious about everything that's going on in our life, and that's going to help us get to that
Exactly.
sleep. Another thing people will commonly use essential oils for at home is head and neck tension. What are your go-tos when you have head or neck tension?
There are several oils, again, that are great for pain or head and neck tension. If I had to pick just one, my favorite go-to is peppermint. Peppermint provides the most incredible relief. It was one of the first of many oils that really got my husband into using oils, because he realized quickly, like, wow, it's powerful relief. So peppermint would be my number one if I had to pick one, but there's so many. Some other top ones are like wintergreen, frankincense is great, copaiba, marjoram. Those are some really good ones as well. But if I had to say just one, it would hands down be peppermint.
And that doesn't surprise me because so many people have found relief with that one. And there's actually good research showing that it does work to help relieve head and neck tension in clinical research. And a lot of the times they even look at mechanisms and how they work. And the essential oils just have a lot of potential to help us with so many things that we want to try and handle at home. Last question. What are your final thoughts or advice for listeners who want to make essential oils a more consistent part of their daily wellness routine?
Yeah, well, I would say that's amazing if you are wanting to make them a part of your daily wellness routine, because I truly and wholeheartedly believe that every single home on the planet can benefit from essential oils. Because, like I said, there's truly an oil for everything, every purpose, whatever it is that you need support or help with. There's an oil for. So my advice would be, first and foremost, to do your homework. Do your research, find out what oils are actually truly pure, that provide proof of purity, because no one is putting out rules saying you have to do X, Y, or Z to prove that your oils are pure. And so companies can say that they have 100% pure essential oils, and it can be fragrance in a bottle. So it's actually been proven that, like, I think it's over 90% of oils on the market, it's a staggering numbers, have been adulterated, which means they're like synthetic fragrance in a bottle. So not only are they not going to give you the therapeutic benefits you're looking for, but they could also be quite toxic and quite harmful. If you've ever heard someone say they had a bad experience with oils, or if you have thought you tried oils and they didn't work, it's probably because you weren't actually trying essential oils. It was synthetic fragrance in a bottle. So first and foremost, just do your homework. Make sure that you're getting something that's truly pure and safe for your family. Before I brought oils into my home, I did extensive research to make sure that I knew what I was doing, and that I was bringing something in my home that was going to be safe and beneficial for us, and not harmful, of course, because we're trying to avoid that. And then I would also say to not let it overwhelm you, because a lot of people that I've worked with, they just feel overwhelmed and they don't know where to start, or they don't know which oil to use for what. So I would encourage you to find somebody knowledgeable in your life that can help you and support you and teach you how to safely and properly use them, and guide you, and be there for you to answer questions, to make it easier for you. Because once you start using them, you realize quickly how simple and powerful and amazing they are. I would just say do your research and make sure you've got some support. And then also don't let the misinformation scare you, because there's so much like an abundance of misinformation out there on essential oils. And I think there's just a lot of people that really don't understand them. And so there's more up and coming stuff now. There's a lot of clinical studies and research out there on them, but there's also an equal amount of misinformation. So I'd say don't let that scare you, and don't let it stop you from bringing them in your home and, doing the research yourself and trying them yourself so you can see how life-changing they can be, because they are truly just so life-changing and so life-giving and so empowering to have in your home. They change everything. I would highly encourage you to make them a part of your daily wellness routine.
Thanks, Amanda. I second that you need to be sure that you're getting a pure quality essential oil. There are so many imposters out there that are made of synthetics, or they're cheap substitutes, or they are diluted with something when it's not even on the label. And so you have to be careful. If there's something that seems too good to be true, an oil that is being sold for much less than everywhere else, be highly skeptical of that. And make sure you're looking at reports and talking to trusted people before you get it. And then, yes, the myths they're becoming more and more prevalent with more and more people who have platforms that are influencers, and they mean well. They want to share information, and they see a headline, and then they run with that headline without actually doing the true research and digging into the essential oils. And so then they share misinformation about essential oils that I personally have done I'd say several videos now debunking these myths, because they continue to be shared. And sometimes it's people with 1 million, 2 million followers, and then it becomes viral, and it's hard to overcome that. I do want those who are using essential oils to have correct information based on evidence and research, not just on a headline that they're running with.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you again, Amanda, being on, and for what you've shared. It is simple to start with essential oils and to start using them in your lives. And then once you start using them, they do become part of your everyday wellness routine. There's not a day that goes by that I don't put something on or use an essential oil, really.
Same.
And so that just becomes part of your life. And if you haven't made the jump into them, then find a trusted friend, find a trusted resource, and go ahead and give them a try.
Thank you for sharing your time with us today. I hope you've gained insights to elevate your health and life. For more transformative evidence-based wisdom, I invite you to explore my 20-plus books at authorscott.com/shop. Don't miss out on the chance to supercharge your health and guide others to a better life. Like, share, and subscribe to join the movement transforming lives. Here's to your journey toward boundless health and happiness.